I'm driving back from Wayne for my job. Had to go pick up plans. So, I have exciting news. Happy news. Unexpected news. My son and his girlfriend are expecting in May, and actually the same due date that my granddaughter had, that he had with my granddaughter's mom. So that's funny. She's going to do blood work to see, they do all the genetic testing now. And oh my God, passing me is my cousin's husband in his truck. That is funny. And so, he has his own business. That's how I know that. The name is on the side. So, I don't know what I was saying, but I'm curious. Girls did not dominate. With me and my siblings, girls dominated. With our children, the boys dominated. So my son has a girl. It would be nice if they had a boy. They also said it would be nice to have a boy. This way my granddaughter doesn't, knows how to join with another girl. But as long as it's healthy, and they said it's healthy, heartbeat, everything. So, I heard from the gentleman that I talked to on the phone, the other guy that wanted to talk to me, that, was upfront about the feet, likes to kiss feet, massage them, mainly massage them. Crossed the line a little bit too much, turned off by that. Got very sexual, and he actually was like, right away this morning, he's like, he apologized in the middle of the night, said, oh, I fell asleep on the couch, sorry. And then right away, then, good morning this morning. And then I said good morning, and he's, sent me a bunch of texts. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he's like, oh, I guess not. And I don't remember what they were. It kind of didn't really pay attention to them. And I said, good morning, I'm at work. I start at 8. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he's like, oh, I wish I was massaging your feet right now and kissing them. And then he just kept going. So that kind of is a turn off. Like, I said yesterday, talks about your likes and dislikes. That's fine. But he just crossed the line with sexually what he, oh, I wish I was doing this and this to you right now, and I want all of you, and da 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 da, and it just got like, oh, too much. Like, if we were having an adult conversation about that, like, oh, this is, like he said, about the feet, he loves massaging feet, okay, get it. But to get into, like, he was talking as if we've been together already, and having, like, we've already had, a sexual experience together. And that's the kind of way, he posed it, and it just big turn off for me. I don't know, just was, I don't know, just didn't sit with me right. And I finally just said driving, because I stopped at Starbucks to get to my favorites. They're always like, 1 pump of the brown sugar. Yes. I don't like that it's liquid brown sugar. I wish it was actual brown sugar. like, like a little teaspoon of it. I don't like the liquid stuff, but I'm getting used to the taste. And here comes the state trooper flying. This is why I only do the speed limit. My friend commended me, oh my gosh, he likes to fly in Florida. He's got a heavy foot, but he's like, oh, so you're a very good driver, very cautious. I didn't even say anything about your speed limit. He goes, you just go, about a little over the speed limit. I'm like, yeah. So, not worth it. Get there late, you get there late. But, yeah, so I'm later. I'm gonna, if we talk on the phone, I don't know that we will, because I'm meeting my friend to go walking in the mall. I actually wore my Fit Flops. They're F-I-T flops. So they're flip-flops, but they're called Fit Flops. And they're designed to wear that, they have an arch and supportive as flip-flop can be. And I've worn them before walking. It's a little chilly today, 67, a little breezy. So a little chilly, and I know it's October to be wearing flip-flops, but they're very comfortable walking. And she did give me these socks to try. Bombas, B-O-M-B-A-S, I believe. Very comfy. Do not give me blisters. They were recommended actually on a Disney site to, walking all day in Disney, and, people were asking for recommendations for good socks. And a lot of people recommended these socks, and she said she has a lot because a friend of hers, I don't know if still works there or at least worked there. So she gave me a pair to try, and they're wonderful. Very soft. They come, instead of the no-show, they kind of come up a little bit, so they cover your heel. And they don't rub, and they're nice, and I don't get blisters. So that's nice. But the reason I'm wearing my Fit Flops is because on not my baby toe, the one in from it, I wore my sneakers Saturday when I went with my granddaughter without socks. And that toe rubbed, I guess, against the sneaker. I don't know why the other side didn't. I'm grateful it didn't. And I got a blister. And then it was, speaking of, the Band-Aid is coming off. I was like, what do I feel on my toe? So I gotta put in a new one when I get to work. But it was bleeding. My sock was all full of blood because I wore socks then on Sunday to go to my nephew's, and my foot was bleeding. Okay, this guy in front of me is going a little too slow. Oh my gosh. Get over, dude. There's 5 lanes. You do not have to be in the middle lane. Not even doing the speed limit. So that is hurting. Yesterday I wore socks with sneakers, and it rubbed a little bit of blood on the socks. So I was like, all right, let me let it air out. So she'll probably be wondering why I'm not wearing my socks and sneakers, but I seem to always have an issue. And I was going to return the stuff to Children's Place because I had ordered a sweater and pajamas for all of us. Matching sweaters, the guys, guy sweaters and women's sweaters. And my son's girlfriend wants a bigger sweater. So now, bigger pajamas. So I have to return those. And I don't know how I did this, but I always have them sent to Freehold. So I don't know why Staten Island came up, but I had them sent to the Staten Island Children's Place. But luckily, her mother moved back there. Her sister works there. So when they come in, I asked if, they could pick them up. So we have till, December. I do it early because if you don't, not available. Come by November, I'm telling you, they will not. It'll be very limited. So, but yeah. So this guy, I'm just gonna have a little conversation with him and say that, although you were, I appreciate very much that you were upfront and honest with the whole foot thing, but I really, we didn't even talk yet on the phone, and oh, freaking Lord, stuck in traffic. What is going on? I don't mind, I'm on the clock. Oh my Lord. But yeah, so I really, I'm just going to say, listen, I'm not a prude. I've said this to other guys. Listen, I'm not a prude by any means, but I'd like to get to know you a little bit first before we get into all that. So, not that I'm opposed to that conversation, but down the line. And see, if he gets upset or whatever, so what? So what? I don't know, it's weird because he's, I want to say Brick or Tom's River, which is about, I don't know from where my new place. And the other guy that I really like, I found out his last name because he owns a business. So, and the business name came up on the caller ID. And he said, oh yeah, that's my bit. He was talking and we were having a conversation. He goes, well, that's what I do for a living. And I was like, oh, wow. And so made sense. So I looked it up and he's probably a good 40 minutes north of me. But I said I was heading up to Wayne and he's like, oh, I'm going to a birthday party for a client. And I'm like, okay, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a lunch thing. And I'm like, really? I'm going to get over. Because it seems everybody's getting over. So there must be something going on in the right lanes. Oh, I'm just going to let people in. Let every other car in, people. Everybody's merging. That's the one thing I don't get. Every other car. There's some people nope. Go for it, dude. I'm letting you in, Kia. Yeah. Oh, ambulance. Oh my God. Bad car accident. Bad car. Every time I go somewhere. Not me, though. Holy crap. People need to freaking drive. Oh my God. Holy shit. Oh my God. It's a Mustang. And delays ahead. It's a Mustang and a Toyota Corolla or something like that. And the Toyota Corolla is turned around and facing the other way. Up on the grass. Wow. And the Mustang is side and so I don't know who hit who. So there was someone out of the car and explaining something. Oh my God, another accident. Jeez Louise. The exit here. Unbelievable. You know what? I'm gonna go 9. This might be a mistake, but avoid the toll. Sometimes the parkway is longer than the light ice, and they did. Excuse me, sorry. I was afraid I was going to start coughing. But, oh my God, my nose. But, yeah, so, I don't know, kind of a distance. And it shouldn't. But for me, oh, sugar. Red flag sometimes is if a guy is, what is this guy doing? Oh my Lord. This guy is doing like 25 miles an hour. Oh my gosh. I think the speed limit is 55 here, but okay. Oh, he's picking it up. Hallelujah. The exit is 25, dude. That's the exit over there. Oh my God. My nose itchy. Means a fight. I don't know who I'm gonna fight with, but I don't know, because I have met guys that have reached out, and I'm like, oh, oh no, and I'll come by you, and they're like, you know, and this guy did say, oh, kid's still home, or you an empty nester now? So another, you know, maybe he's thinking when I come down, I'd like to stay rather than drive all the way home. And he didn't say about, you know, he said, oh, he would have met me up there today. Oh, next time let me know when you're up this way, and I'll meet you. And so, you know, if I'm going to be up his, oh my gosh, people, if I'm gonna be up that way, and he's gonna meet me out and about in his area, I would think, you know, it's okay. But I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, we're always thinking, like, what is wrong with them? We're always looking for something wrong with them, and we shouldn't. Like, and don't know why. It came on after The Golden Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise, which I only watched one other time with my daughter because it was just something for us to watch together. And there was this one guy, and he really, like, the first day he, like, kissed this girl, and then then this other girl came. Then he started talking to her, because evidently she was on a lot of guys' lists, because I guess they know who's going to be there, or hoping who's going to be there, I don't know. And so then she got a date card when she came, and picked him. They went on a date, and then he was all into her, and she got a rose and everything, and then, boom, this other guy came, and she went on a date with him, and it was like, we're done, sorry, I feel more for him. And then this one girl, she kind of did the same thing. She was with this guy, and you thought all into him and everything. And then this other guy shows up again after the rose ceremony, and she gets a rose from this guy. And she, sorry. And she's like, well, like, you know, we were going to explore other things. No, I mean, okay, they're only showing you what they want you to see. But what they showed, like, she was so into him. And now this other guy shows up and, whoops, see ya. And the girl the one guy that he went on a date with someone else, and then, sorry, I'm more into her. Two girls now go on dates with other guys and are like, see ya. So the girl that he did it to, she's kind of like, karma. I don't know. I think she's being a little juvenile, in my opinion, over the whole thing. I mean, yes, he should have, when the girl asked, he said, can you give me a minute? And then, I don't want to be in this lane. Then talk to the girl he's been hanging out with and was so into. And this is, I read something one time that if you have a number one and you meet number two, pick number two, because if you really were into number one, there wouldn't be a number two. So, I feel that if they really were, there's some people that are, nah, I'm good. And they're, coupled up and they're, no, I'm good. So, they're good. And that's how, so that's how I feel. If I met someone and we went out 2 or 3 times and, other guys sent me messages and I talked to them. So I'm like, I wouldn't have answered those messages if I was so into this guy. So, because Frank, once I met Frank, that was it. I was done. I didn't want to talk to anybody else. I didn't want to go out with anybody else. I kind of felt that way too when I first met Steven. And then I realized that I started, some guy was talking to me. I don't know. I went out with my friends or something. And I was like, oh, wow. And that's when I realized, it's over with Steven. Because if I could look at someone else that way and think about what could it be with someone else, then, it's different if you are, it's different if you're ooh, he's hot, ooh, whatever. But you're not thinking, oh, if he came up to me and asked me for my number, I'd give it to him. There was a guy one time when I was with Frank and we were out, me and my friends, and he came up and was like, hey, whatever, and he's like, what's your story? I said, I'm taken. And he's like, oh, how taken? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, taken. He's like, oh, I couldn't get your number. Nope. So that, but in the beginning, I was that way with Steven. But then, towards the end, when I kind of knew it was over, I was, I wonder if he'd ask me for my number. Ooh, I'd give him my number. So then that's when you kind of know it's over. Of course, let's hope that's not when, in a marriage. I wouldn't cross that line in my marriage. I didn't cross that line in my marriage. I wouldn't, because that was, to me, a commitment. And that's even some guys I've had, well, we're living, they weren't married. They're like, oh, well, we're not married. You're living together. That's the same. That's a commitment. Well, and I'm like, I've said this before. They're just looking for the next person they want to be with before they end what they had. And to me, no. I'm not going to get involved with someone that is still involved with someone. If she doesn't know it's over, sorry. In Steven's case, yes, it was over. I met her. She's like, oh, I'm dating someone else. And So I met everybody. I knew it was over. So, and they weren't married. They weren't even, they were separated. He was then just, someone renting a room because she had someone else that was renting a room. I don't know. I couldn't do that she had 2 young girls in high school. Daughters. Twins, actually. And I'm sorry. Like, someone said to me, oh, why don't you rent out the mother-in-law suite? No, because I'm not going to be home all the time. And I can't worry about if this person, guy or girl, they're like, oh, rent to a girl. You don't know. You don't know. So I wasn't willing to risk that with my children. Whether it be, a woman could, do something to my daughter or to my son, or my son could be enticed. Oh, an older woman, like I said, could do something to my daughter. There's no like, okay, I have daughters, so I will rent to somebody, a woman. No, I never felt that way. I really never did. And same thing, a man could do something to my son, could do something to my daughter, either or. So there's no, when you have young kids, even if you have adult kids, an older woman could have seduced my son, an older guy could have seduced my daughter, and her look, 50 Shades of Grey, he was much older than her. And I know people say, well, they're adults, and but I'm not inviting a stranger. If it was someone I knew that needed a place to live and was like, oh, would you mind if I moved in with you? I'd pay. Yeah, they're in a tough situation, and I knew them, really, really knew them, like, well, yeah, but I'm not going to invite a total stranger. I don't care. You can do background checks, whatever, and nope. So I'm just not gonna do it. I am not. So exciting news for me. I think my son and his girlfriend are telling the family this weekend. My son does not know that his girlfriend is having a little surprise party. It's just his cousins, like teenage cousins, well, 20-something cousins, and 20-something cousins and friends, and her friends, which are now his friends, and his friends are her friends. So inviting them over, and when we come back from dinner, they'll be there, and then it's surprise. So from there, and this woman is I am a person that I could Jesus, this is a Ford 150, and she's a tiny little girl, and she cannot park it. She took her like 3 or 4 times to park it. So if you can't drive a vehicle like that, well, maybe her husband had to take her car for something, so I shouldn't be so quick to judge. But my nails are way overdue, and I had to push it to the 4th because I was not feeling it this weekend. Not feeling great last week. And this weekend, my son's birthday and everything, we're going out for the day, so I'm not, and my girl isn't there on Sundays, even though they're open Sunday. So, but I'm at the post office now, and I'm gonna go in, get some stamps. Hopefully they have them. Evidently there's been a shortage of stamps. Don't get that. But gonna do that. And the coffee's kind of killing me. It's the first time I had coffee since I did try to have coffee Saturday, and a big one like this went in the garbage. There was about this much out of it, and I had to throw it out. I should have got a small. But I was like craving it. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna drink that down. Nope, didn't happen. So, all right, I will say bye to all for now. And I'm very excited. I have 53 subscribers. So, very excited. But of you 53, if you love to hear comments, like I said, positive, negative, not nasty, but, constructive criticism, if you have it, love to hear it. So please, 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 and share with your friends. I feel strength in numbers, and I have met people through friends of friends, and we had something in common, whether it be at a party or a function or just going out and talking to them. It's like, oh my God, someone that's been through what I've been through, or someone gets what I've been through. Oh, someone that thinks like I think, someone that, has the same thought process. So yeah, so it's nice. It's nice to that. So share, you never know. I could end up, getting some different points of view, and maybe change my mind on some views, or enlighten me on some things. So if you would like, share. If you like it, hit the like button. 53 subscribers, but not 53 likes. So maybe you like some things and not others. But any topic you want me to talk about or address, discuss, please, I'm open to it. So just drop a comment, and I would love to hear from you guys. All right, talk to you later. Bye.